Hello and welcome, everyone. We are here for mystery stamping for the month of March. I emailed the supply list to everybody last week when I put the list out, the supply list. So hopefully you guys have all your supplies ready for this month. We are going to be making a super cute, well, I am, but this is kind of going to be somewhat of a fun fold. That is why I had put in the supplies that you need to have a 6x6 piece of paper, pattern paper, and then you needed an 11 by 4 1/4 piece. This is going to be our base, but we're going to have fun with this because we are going to cut this up and make a really cute card out of using all of that 6x6 designer paper and that piece of base that we're going to use. Then I had said that you need to just have some scraps. The scraps are more for you decorating your card. So you can use whatever colors match your pattern paper. And that is what's you're going to use for more or less decorating and using dies, punch. If you want to just put a sentiment in that, that is absolutely doable. And then I also just have a little piece of white scrap that I'm going to use for decorating as well, because I'm going to actually stamp my sentiment on my card base. That's what's going to work for me. Let's see. I'm also going to be using the Excellent Eggs and the Excellent Eggs dies. I really have Easter on the brain, so that is why I have decided to do an Easter card this time. And for this month, for our giveaway, for all of you who create the mystery card. And so how that works is what you simply need to do is you need to create the same layout that I'm going to share with you. But you're going to obviously use your own colors, your own pattern paper, anything that you have on hand, you can use. Do note that you don't have to use Stampin' Up! Product. You can use whatever product you have in your craft supplies. So when you come in here, you watch this video, you see the design that I'm going to show you guys, the layout. You're going to create your card. Once your card is finished, you're going to take your phone, your camera, however you snap photos. You're going to take a picture of that, and then you're going to go over to my private group, which is Pink Barn Stampers Group. If you're not a part of that group, you simply want to go over there and hit the join button, and I will let you into that group. The only stipulation that I have for people to join the group is that you have to be an active Facebook user and you have to have a photo on your profile picture. So in other words, when you see the little circle pop up, it needs to be a photo of something that is like real. It can't just be the fake Facebook photo that's gray with like just the little silhouette. It needs to be either, you know, just whatever photo you decide to put in there. Hello, Denise. So yeah, when you go to Pink Barn Stampers Group, just make sure you have a photo in your profile. Hit the join button. And when you do that, you're going to simply put in the photo under, when we're done here, I'm going to post a picture of the card that I made today. Underneath that, you're going to put the photo of yours in the comments. That is how you're going to be entered into the drawing this month. Let me add this in really quick. Well, dang it. I'm trying to add in that group in here so you guys can see it without having to, there you go. There, I've posted Pink Barn Stampers in the chat here so you guys can go there and see what I'm talking about and join that group. But this month, I'm going to be giving away, these are called the Sparkle and Shine Sequence Assortment. So this is what's going to be up for grabs. So when you create your card and you post it over under my card in the comments over on Pink Barn Stampers group, you are going to be in the giveaway for these. And I do the giveaway the following Wednesday. So that is going to be Wednesday, the 27th. I will do the drawing that day. And I pretty much give you all day Wednesday as well because I do the drawing around like 5, 6 o'clock. So yeah, I give you guys plenty of time to get your card done if you didn't have your supplies ready to go right here while we're doing this. Hello, Paula. Welcome. All right. So I think we are ready to go ahead and start. This is a very, very fun and quick kind of card, and it gets you to use up. I know a lot of us hold on to that 6x6 paper or even 12x12 paper that you can get in there. You can cut it in, you know, fourths and give yourself a good, hopefully we're not frozen here because my other device is showing us frozen. Okay, well, there we go. I guess we're back up and rolling. All right, so like I said, for this month, we need to have a piece of base. This is what we're going to use for our base cardstock. I've chose Lemon Lolly. This is 11 by 4 1/4. We need to have a piece of 6x6 pattern paper, double-sided, because you are going to use both sides. Then I have just a couple of scraps here, which that's what I was saying is that we're going to use that to just do our decorating on the front of our card. Now, you don't have to do a whole decoration like I'm doing. It's just more or less you just have to follow the pattern of my card. I'm just going to do that for the aesthetics of this card. Okay, so let's get to this base first. So we are going to need our paper trimmer. And I have posted that you're going to need a paper trimmer. You're going to need a score, something to do your scoring with. So with our 11 by 4 1/4 piece of cardstock, we are going to flip this on the long side and we are going to score this at 5 1/2. So it's going to be right in the center. And let me move my cutting blade out of the way because we don't want to cut anything. We just want to score it at this moment. So we're going to score at 5 1/2. Okay. So we have this cool little score right here in the center. Then what we want to do is we are going to cut off whatever end you want. Doesn't matter. You're going to cut off 2 3/4. So that is 2 3/4 we are going to cut off of here. Okay, so now that's going to leave you with this as your card base. So you want this piece, like I said, whether you cut it this side or this side, you're still going to get the same piece of cardstock. And you're going to have your base look the same way. So with that, you're going to keep this piece. Also, you're going to need this. So now you're going to have a piece that looks like this. You want your flap to be on the left side because that is how we open our cards, right? From the left. Let me grab my bone folder really quick so I can burnish this down so I have a nice crisp fold on that. Okay, so now I'm going to take those two pieces and I'm going to set those aside, but we are going to use this, so don't get rid of that 2 3/4 piece that we just cut off. Now going to our 6x6 piece. It's clearly 6x6, so you don't need to really worry about where we cut this because we are going to be using both sides. So when we do this, we need to, on here, we need to decide what's going to, we want to be looking at more as our focus. But when we cut this, we can flip these around any way we want to. So let's cut this down. So first of all, we're going to take this and we're going to cut it at 3 3/4. Okay, so let me line this up on my 3 3/4 line first, and we're going to cut that, okay? Now we have our 3 3/4 by 6. Now we're going to turn that to the long side and we are going to cut off 1 inch. Okay, so there is our 1 inch by 3 3/4. And now this just took this down to 5 inch by 3 3/4. Okay, so we're gonna set that aside. Now we're gonna move over to this piece here. This is now 2 1/4 wide, if we look at that, because we just cut off that 3 3/4 over here for this piece. So now we have 2 1/4 by 6. What we want to do is we want to cut this at 3 3/4. And now what we have is we have a 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And now we have a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, so that's what we're going to use for our card base here. And so then comes the fun part of this card. Now, this piece here, you can decide which way you want it to be, what pattern, but this is going to go on the inside of our card, just like so. Okay, once we adhere that in there, I'm going to play with the colors first to see what I like. And then over here, we can take this pattern and we can flip that over, or we can keep it like this. But since I'm going to be, actually, you know what? I'm going to flip this to the blue. I like the blue on the yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to keep this as the stripes because I want it to be different from the inside. You guys can choose whatever way you want your paper to look. Then I'm going to come in with that piece that we cut off, which was the 2 3/4. We cut that. That is then going to get adhered to our card front. So that's going to kind of be our little mechanism of opening. Then we're going to take our little 1 inch by the 3 3/4. And I need to put a new blade on there. It's making things fuzzy. But as we can see, this is not going to run all the way the length of our piece here. So watch what I'm going to do. Zoop. I just tore it. I know, right? Isn't that crazy? I just tore my paper. But because I'm going to put this on the edges, I'm going to touch the edges of my little lemon lolly piece here. And this handy dandy little square that we cut out, the 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 piece, I'm going to flip it over to have it match the inside of my card. That is going to go right on the center of that. And nobody's going to know that we tore it besides you guys. Because as you can see, we're going to cover that torn piece up. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so let's go ahead and start adhering all of our paper. Okay, there's that blue. I believe that's that balmy blue. Then I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to flip it to those really pretty, now this is called the bright and something paper. I can't remember what it's called. Hello, Patty. Hello, Melanie. Hello, Peggy. Okay, so I'm just going to now put this piece on to match the inside as far as my measurements go here. So everything looks symmetrical. All right, then I am going to just eyeball this. I'm not going to be precise because this is a handmade card, so it's being made with love. And then I'm just going to eyeball the center of my spacing here of the margins of that lemon. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to take this piece and adhere it to the other side. Thank you, Patty, for sharing. Okay, I'm going to put that like so. Okay, that's a little really off there. Okay, like that. Okay, now we're going to take our little piece here and we're going to adhere that right to that center. And know that we are going to have the points of this hanging over, so don't put adhesive up the whole way of it. Otherwise, you're going to have adhesive hanging off the back, and you don't want that because you don't want it to stick to the inside of this. But as far as this, both the sides go, they're going to both lay right on here. So you can place those right there in the center-ish. Okay, and I just kind of watch both my sides. And then that is going to get adhered right like that. So I'm going to watch this side and this side to make sure that I have it even. But an even easier way to know that this is going to be kind of on the straight is you have a point on this blue and you have a point here. So if you line both those points up with this edge here like that, you're pretty much straight. So just know that you want this point and this point to line up with your little flap here. And then watch your margins on your sides. Okay, so then that is a good way of knowing that if you go from this point to this point, you're going to only put adhesive over here. You don't want adhesive over there because we don't want to glue our card shut. We want it to still be able to open up freely to be able to see the inside of our card. So again, holding it and only putting adhesive down this one side and watching my points that I'm not taking glue past that, I can then take this and stick it right, watching this point and this point of that lemon lolly to make sure that I got that perfectly straight on there. And voila. There is our card. We've used one single piece of 6x6 and we've used a half sheet of our cardstock. So in other words, when we have a typical piece of cardstock, it is 11 by 8.5. So when we take our 11 by 8.5, we're just cutting it right down on the lengthwise, and that's going to give us our 4 1/4 by the 11. So you can pretty much, with 2 pieces of 6x6 and 1 sheet of full cardstock cut in half, you can make 2 cards. Pretty handy like that. Okay, so like I said, I have decided to decorate my card using the Excellent Egg because I've got the Easter on the brain. So what I have chose to do, now you can decorate this with anything you have on hand. I'm just going to decorate it just to show you a completed card. But what I need to see for entering you in the drawing is I just need to see you guys create this card base. I mean, of course, I love seeing you guys decorate it up and make it pretty, but just to let you know, this is the look that I need to see here. Okay, so I am going to grab my block. I'm going to grab Happy Easter, and I'm going to show you how easy this is, even if you don't want to decorate your card and you want to leave it just the way that it is. I'm going to simply take my ink, and I'm only going to put ink on the happy side of this stamp because this is a Happy Easter. But I want to separate these 2 words. So I'm watching the corner of my stamp pad and the separation of my 2 words and just taking it right up to the end of that Y. So I'm going to put the word happy right up here on this top portion, like so. Okay, give that a couple seconds. So there you go. Now you can do this with any of your sentiment stamps. You can separate them by just stamping one side or the other. So then I'm going to completely clean it. And then I'm going to try not to drop this on my card base because that would be horrendous. Then I'm just going to stamp the word Easter. There we go. And if you ever get ink on there, you can always just take your finger and dab that other portion off. And so then I'm going to put Easter down here in this bottom portion. Okay, happy Easter. I like the way that turned out. Now I'm going to take my little bunny here. I have this really cute little rabbit. Now I am going to be featuring this set next Monday for our Make It Monday. Just to let you know, it's going to be Easter cards next week. So then just using this little white piece of scrap, I'm going to take the bunny. Now, if that's the way you want your card to look, that's all you have to do. That's so cute, right? Like, it's just simple. Put a couple little embellishments on there and voila, you have a card. Super easy. You can get two pretty much bingo bango and you've got cards ready to be mailed. But I'm just going to do a little bit of decorating like I was saying. So I can, with these dies, the Excellent Eggs dies, I can cut out this little rabbit. And then I'm going to move my card out of the way. I'm going to bring in my little emboss machine here, my little mini. And I'm going to do some embossing. Or not embossing. I'm going to do some die cutting. I don't know why I said embossing. Okay, I'm going to set that right on there. We're going to get this cute little rabbit out. So I'm just going to put my little piece of removable tape there and run this through. Here's my Widow Wabbit. Okay, there's my rabbit. So I'm going to move that aside now. And then I'm going to be using this fun little egg right here. I have this kind of little decorative egg. Now I'm going to put both of my pieces together. And I'm just going to lay that tape on there. And I'm going to cut both of these at one time. Because I need two of these. So I'm just going to go like, well, let's make sure I have my papers together. There we go. And then I'm just going to run this through a couple of times to make sure I cut both pieces of that egg, my little eggy egg. Okay, there we go. Move this out of the way. Okay, then when I pull that off, there's that scrap. And now I have my inside pieces. Now I'm going to be using these inside pieces. Let me get these apart here. And we got to be a little bit delicate with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a piece of regular Scotch tape and I'm going to lay it right across the back portion of this egg. And now when I flip this over, okay, I've got sticky on the front. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this little blue piece and I'm going to just make these opposite. So I'm going to put that one in there. I'm going to put the other blue one, this piece up here. Now it helps if I have my little tweezers because my hands don't always want to work all too well for me. It's called getting old. And then this one here. Okay, there's that. And then now I'm going to take my snips and for this extra portion of tape here. I'm just gonna cut that tape off because I don't need that. Okay, there's my one egg that is created. Now I've got to get my other two little pink pieces out of here. All right, let me grab some more tape. We're gonna do the same thing to the back of the blue egg. Okay, flip that over. Take that little pink bottom portion. We're gonna do this one over here. It's fun to cut a bunch of these out in different colors, and you can mix and match all your little pieces here. It's kind of fun for Easter. Okay, and I have one little piece of my tape that is longer than my egg. So there we go, there's both of my little eggies. And I'm gonna grab some dimensionals here, cut some of these up since I'm on the last part of this sheet of dimensionals. And what I want to do here is I'm going to adhere, let's see what I like. I think I want the pink one there, and I think I want this blue one popped up, okay? So I'm gonna put this one straight down on my base. Like, let's take this right all the way up. Okay. Like that. And then this one we're gonna pop up with a couple of dimensionals. Pull the little backings off. Then we're going to put this one kind of just sitting. Look at my other one over here so I don't cover my words up here. Like that. Okay. And then my cute little bunny is gonna go right here. So let's get a smaller little piece of this out. Hello, Anna. Hello, Sierra. Okay, and then my cute little bunny is just gonna go right there. Just like that. Isn't that cute? So I hope you guys have fun creating these little cards. Hello, Mary. How are you? And so it's just super fun because you're using up, you know, one sheet of the half of your full piece of cardstock. And then you're using a full sheet of your 6x6. And all you're doing is just flipping some of them back and some of them front to get your super fun little card. This is great to do with kids because they like to mix and match their papers, but it's not taking a lot for them to have to do because you're pretty much just cutting that 6x6 up in like I said, you have to cut that 6x6. You're going to want to cut it at 3 3/4. Then you're going to cut 1 inch off the end of that. That's what's going to give you your big piece and then your centerpiece here that you're going to tear. And then you are taking that other portion that is then going to be the 6 by 2 2/4 or 2 1/4. And what you're doing is cutting at 3 3/4. That's going to give you a 2 1/4 by 3 3/4, and then a 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 little square is what we used for the front here. And the other piece goes right here on this front flap. I will put a diagram up of that, the dimensions of that 6x6. So you guys will be able to see that. That will be over on the blog under the mystery stamping for this. So then you guys will not be like, what the heck is she talking about? If you see the diagram, it's much more easier than to just try to, Danny, do you have a challenge going on right now? That's what this is. This is mystery stamping. This is mystery stamping for the month of March. That is what we're doing right now. This is going to be our mystery stamping card. Now that it is complete, you can go over to the blog, stampinthepinkbarn.com. And once you're there, if you go over to the right-hand side, you will see where it says mystery stamping. Click mystery stamping, and it will take you into the March one, and you will see the supplies that you need. It's pretty much just those few things that I told you. You're going to need a half sheet of the 11 by 8.5 cardstock cut on the long side. So you're going to get your 11 by 4 1/4, and then you're just going to cut off 3 3/4 of that. You're going to score it at the 5 1/2. And then that's going to give you this front little flap here, because that's what we've cut off, this little portion. And then you need a 6 by 6 piece of your designer series paper or pattern paper of any card stack that you have. Again, it doesn't have to be specific to Stampin' Up. Hello, Sheila. Oh, geez. Sitting on the highway, stopped in traffic. Oh, yikes. Hopefully you're not sitting there for too long, because sitting in traffic can be no fun. Hopefully where you're at, it's not super hot. I know here in the summertime, sitting in traffic is no fun, especially on our cars. I mean, right now it being spring, hopefully it's not too hot in anywhere. I know it's pretty decent weather here. I think, what did I just see it say? It's 71 degrees here in Tucson. So, all right, you guys, I hope you enjoy this. Again, wait for me to post a picture of this over on Pink Barn Stampers. And, 30 degrees in Montreal. Woohoo, that's cold. I mean, they would be nice, like, if it was snowing and 30 degrees, like, that would be pretty. At least you could sit by a fire or whatever, drinking coffee or tea or whatever it is that you choose to drink. But hey, those are fantasy, like, things that I think about when I hear of it being so chilly. So yeah, wait for me to post the picture of this finished card, and, you can then post your picture of your finished card in the comments under this actual card that I'm going to post. Remember, you have through Wednesday of next week, which again is Wednesday the 27th. I will then put all your names into the wheel of names that I use, and all of you who have submitted cards will get entered into the drawing for these fun sparkle and shine sequin assortments. These are really pretty. These are great if you use, like, if you like to create shaker cards. These are fun for shaker cards that you can put in the inside and they shake around. Or you can even use these. They're flat. So you can take these, put a dot of glue, and you can use these as little embellishments also. But they're kind of an iridescent-y look to them. They're really kind of cool. There's little stars, there's little circles, and yeah, just fun. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your week. Have a fabulous weekend. Be safe out there. And I will see you guys on Monday. Again, Monday, I will be featuring cards using this excellent egg. So you guys who have watched this kind of just got a jump start, and this gave you an extra idea if you have this set. Super fun. You can get some, I almost said Halloween cards. Ugh, where's my brain? You can get some Easter cards, like, made ahead of time. Here's the other one that I created. This is my one that I go back and I just see what I'm doing here. So this one I used the, what was that, balloon? I think it's the same paper actually. But yeah, I just used this paper and created this one. And then used the Berry Burst with Lemon Lolly, and then I use the, what is this? Fresh Freesia on that one. But yeah, I've already got 2 Easter cards ready to go, so I can send these out. All right, you guys, have a great one, and thanks for coming in here. I will get this posted over up on YouTube, so you guys can see it there as well. All right, you guys, take care. Bye-bye.